Hey there, and welcome. Have you ever wondered what's really going on in a professional language teacher's head? Well, today we're pulling back the curtain and taking a look at their secret playbook, the strategies they use to make a new language actually click.
So let me just start with a big question. What if all those memories you have of language class, the boring vocabulary lists, the endless grammar drills, what if all of that is just wrong? What if the best teachers are playing a totally different game?
Because here's the big secret, the fundamental shift. Modern language teaching isn't about a teacher spoon-feeding you facts to memorize. Nope. It's about creating these clever situations where you, the learner, actually get to discover the system of the language for yourself. And trust me, that is a total game changer. So what's the first major play from this playbook? It's this idea that pro teachers don't just think about vocabulary. They think about something way bigger, a concept called lexis. And that's not just individual words, it's the whole system. This little comparison really nails it. On the left, that's how most of us think about vocabulary, right? It's just a list, a pile of individual bricks. But lexis, that's the whole building. It's not a list at all. It's this huge, interconnected web of language. So what's actually in this web? Well, lexis is all the stuff we learn in chunks. Things like word families, help, helpful, helpless. Or collocations, those are words that just sound right together. You say strong coffee, not powerful coffee, right? Idioms, fixed expressions. It's all the prepackaged bits of language that native speakers use without even thinking. This is the stuff that makes you sound truly fluent. Okay, so if a teacher wants to get these language chunks into your brain, how do they actually do it? Well, this brings us to the next play in the book, understanding the huge difference between planned learning and, well, accidental learning. And here's the key. It all comes down to one simple thing, the teacher's intention. The secret to figuring out what's happening in a modern language class is to just ask yourself, what is the main mission of this activity right now? I love this way of thinking about it. On one side, you have systematic learning. That's when learning vocabulary is the main mission. It's the whole point. On the other side, you have incidental learning. That's when new words just kind of pop up as a happy accident while you're focused on something totally different, like reading a story. Let's make this super concrete. Say a student asks what a word means while reading a text. That's incidental learning, because the main goal is just to understand the story. But what about a game of charades where everyone is acting out idioms? Well, that's systematic. The entire purpose of the game is to practice those idioms. See the difference? It's always about the primary goal. Okay, so now we know what teachers are teaching, that's lexis, and when they teach it, either systematically or incidentally. So let's get to the how. This is the core four-step play for introducing pretty much any new piece of language. And we're coming back to that core philosophy again. Honestly, the word explain is almost a bad word in this new playbook. A truly great teacher doesn't just stand there and lecture you. No, they act as a guide. And they create these experiences that let students have that aha moment all on their own. And this is the framework they use. It's called guided discovery. Step 1 is noticing. The teacher sets up a situation, maybe with a couple of contrasting sentences, so that the students themselves spot the new pattern. Then comes clarifying. The teacher helps them confirm what it means. After that, checking. They'll ask some clever questions to make sure everybody's really got it. And finally, recording. Students got to write it down, because that's what helps lock it into your memory. Now, during that clarifying step, teachers have this whole toolkit they can pull from. They might use pictures or drawings or even realia, which is just a fancy word for bringing in real-life objects. They can mime, give examples, use synonyms, and yeah, sometimes they'll just translate. But that's usually the absolute last resort. All right, let's talk about it. The topic everyone loves to fear, grammar. But in this playbook, grammar isn't a bunch of dusty old rules you have to memorize. It's actually the essential tool that makes communication even possible. Just take a second and listen to this sentence. Interviewer asked Gerald, "What did yesterday he say? I visit my grandmother, then I watch TV with her." It feels clunky, doesn't it? You can probably figure out what it means, but your brain has to work pretty hard. All the words are there, but something critical is missing. And what's missing is this. Grammar is the glue. It's the system that takes that messy pile of words and sticks them all together into a clear, smooth message that just makes sense. Okay, now listen to the corrected version. The interviewer asked Gerald what he did yesterday. He said, "I visited my grandmother, then I watched TV with her."
Ah, so much better, right? That feeling of clarity, of ease. That's grammar doing its job. It gives our brains the structure we need to process language without breaking a sweat.
So, if Lexis is the web of words and phrases, you can think of grammar as the nuts and bolts. It's the deep down system of rules for things like verb tenses, word order, prepositions, all those little bits and pieces that give a language its precision and its structure.
And all of this brings us to the final and maybe the most important secret in the whole playbook. It's not just about a technique, it's about a fundamental shift in what it even means to be a teacher.
The old way was the sage on the stage. The teacher is the expert at the front of the room, just handing out knowledge. But the new model, that's the guide on the side. In this version, the teacher is more like a coach, a facilitator, who sets up interesting problems and then helps students find the answers for themselves.
Because at the end of the day, this whole playbook is built around one single idea: empowerment. The goal isn't just to transfer information from a teacher's brain into a student's brain. It's about building confident, independent, and curious language users who actually know how to learn.
So, now you've had a peek inside the prose playbook. What are you going to look for? If you're a student, can you start spotting these techniques in your own class? And if you're a teacher, which play are you going to run next? The whole game of language learning just got a lot more interesting, didn't it?